get down to business. So the first question that I would like to put to you is that in 2016, you are quoted as saying that it's an insult to black people to refer to Israel as an apartheid regime. Can you tell us a bit more about this?
Yeah, so I want to unpack that by firstly saying that the claim that is made by BDS that Israel is an apartheid state, I find it to be intellectually dishonest. And I find purveying that kind of intellectually dishonesty to a black audience to be insulting, because you are either trying to bastardize the history of apartheid to suit your political narrative, or you are deliberately misleading people. A lot of what the BDS does is actually akin to what AfriForum does. You take half-truths, you weave together a narrative which is untrue and sometimes adopted by politicians like the ANC, but that narrative is untrue. So let me give you an example of what I mean by that. There were 155
you'll answer the question
laws.
About
Yeah. I'm getting to there.
Do you get the question?
I understand the question. I
About
hope you understand the answer.
To black people.
Let me answer you, then you can tell me. 155 laws that regulated apartheid. It was a system of laws, right? Mixed Marriage Act, Bantu Act, Voter Registration Acts, all of these things to create a diminished citizenship for black people. In Israel, all citizens are equal. They can all vote, they can marry each other if they want, they can sleep with each other, they can start political parties, they can live wherever they can buy the land, okay? So now when you then come around to South Africa and say that system of governance, which started in 1948, which had 155 codified laws to discriminate against blacks and other people who were not white, that's exactly the same as an independent country, which is a liberal democracy, which has equal citizenship for all of its citizens in terms of they can all vote, they can move freely. Now, the real debate is actually
one of the social media inputs. The truth of the matter is that you're lying. 93% of land in Israel is allocated to
What's your source, Mohammed? What's your source for this? Because I've heard you say this a lot of times, but it's not true.
Before we go to social media comment. My source is quite simply the Israeli parliament, otherwise known as the Israeli Knesset. But let us take the social media comment and we'll come back to that. Well, let's hear from one of our viewers. Rebecca on Facebook in part says, Israel has degenerated into a racist, fascist, rogue state, yet continues to enact war crimes with impunity. Any person of moral integrity will use BDS against a country that is systematically involved in slaughter, apartheid, and colonization of land that does not belong to them. Thank you, Rebecca. Coming to you, Jamie, as you pass comment on Rebecca's social media post, can you also try to help me understand, are you suggesting, I mean, whether Israel's an apartheid state or not, let us leave that to Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, the various UN agencies, international jurists and legal experts who pronounce on the matter. But can you help me understand the statement which I first put to you at the beginning? And that is that how do you call somebody like Mama Winnie Mandela, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, how do you call former President Kgalema Motlanthe? How do you call our current President Cyril Ramaphosa, who has said that Israel's regime against the Palestinians, in his words, President Ramaphosa, is a replica of what we went through in South Africa? Are you really trying to suggest that Mama Winnie, Cyril Ramaphosa, Kgalema Motlanthe, and the various other icons of our liberation struggle are insulting our history? I mean, who are you to suggest
so let me
that
answer this.
they are insulting
question
our
quickly.
history?
So I think you actually need some debate coaching from me. So after the show, you should come through, because what you're committing is a fallacy of appealing to the people. You can cite 100 people. It doesn't necessarily mean your argument is correct, right? Just because Cyril Ramaphosa said it doesn't mean it's correct. I've given you analysis showing you that there were 155 laws that implemented the apartheid regime. Those laws don't.
Just explain to me that.
I've just done that. You want us to go back and waste time, but I'm happy to do it. If you mischaracterize apartheid to suit your personal ends, what you're actually doing is being intellectually dishonest, misleading. Anybody who tries to get my support through nefarious and underhanded means is actually insulting me. Now, can I go to the guest comment?
Jamie, let's not trap you.
Can
How
I go to
do
the
you
guest
define
comment?
apartheid?
So apartheid was a system of laws run by the Nationalist Party from 1948 with an explicit intention of creating a superior...
We've got a call on the line.
So what are we doing now? Are we talking about the comment?
If you can maybe just answer the nation-state law that was recently passed, which elevates the status of Jewish people over non-Jews.
It absolutely doesn't do that. I've read that law, and I hope you have
the Israeli regime.
So let's talk about what that law says. Let's talk about what that law says.
Okay, we get back straight to the law after this caller. Let's take this caller. We have Gift from Johannesburg on the line. Hi, Gift. What is your question, my brother?
I do not have a question. I just have a comment.
Please continue, Gift.
Yes, my comment is simple. I recently got invited to join a trip to Israel with Empower SA. I'm sure PDS is aware of Empower SA and what they do. Now, I think the description of the situation in Israel and Palestine to be similar to apartheid is just a disrespect to most of us. I've been to Palestine, I've been to Israel, and I can tell you this, I felt humiliated and also racially profiled and discriminated by Palestinian people than I was by Jewish people. Jewish people treated us like people. And in Palestine, we never felt like we're anything but slaves. They looked at us as if we're animals. And it's really a shame that everyone that has got a say about this situation only has it from a point of serving a particular point or proving a particular situation, or trying to misinform black people and try to have them sympathize with a particular political agenda. There isn't
I think we get the idea. Let us move to Jamie. So Jamie, responding to Gift's comments about the treatment of Africans and generally the comment about Israel being an apartheid state based on the fact that there are various reports on the one hand, and on the other hand, we have, well, in addition to the scenario that I put to you in the initial question, which was that on the one hand, we have various reports that have documented how Israel is practicing apartheid, and we have our own icons that have gone and have come back and have said that it's an apartheid regime.
So there's many experts who contest that, right? And I've just given you clear analysis that everybody can verify for themselves. And I'd like to invite South Africa to actually go and read the nation state bill. It's a very short act which talks about that, you know, this is the national anthem, these are the colors. All of the rights of all Israeli citizens remain the same. England is an English state. France is a French state. China is a Chinese state. All the nation state bill said is that Israel is a Jewish state. There are so many Islamic states in the Middle East which have an Arab identity. Nobody questions that. The very fact that a country wrote something that the UN already recognizes them as, because when Israel was founded, it was recognized as a state for the Jewish people. So because they put down a piece of paper which said, this is a state for the Jewish people, you are up in arms. I say to you, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. But I want us to go to the conversation which I think is very important. How do we achieve peace and prosperity for both sides? Maybe after the ad break, we can have that conversation.
The one thing that I would like to ask is that apartheid South Africa was a country for white people. I mean, would that be something that you'd be happy with affirming?
Absolutely not. But Israel is not apartheid South Africa. The Jewish people have a history in that area. They have a legitimate claim to the land. Many BDS activists actually share that same sentiment, that you can't erase the Israeli attachment to the land. You just simply cannot erase 3,000 years of history, archaeological data, archaeological artifacts. The question really is, how do we share the land equitably? But you can't just say...
We'll come back to that question as soon as we're done with this ad break. We'll take more questions and comments after the break. Don't go away.